Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Coach Alvarez here. Another episode, Coffee with Coach. It's Monday, up making some moves. Hope you are too. Hope your day started off in the right direction, on the right foot. Got on the right side of the bed this morning, but if you didn't, just try and put the mind in the right place. So, yesterday I was listening to the Jocko podcast, and they were talking about like kind of mental slavery kind of thing, mind control, getting out of ruts. And they were just talking about all this stuff. And in the middle of the podcast, the other guy was like, it's kind of like the swamps of sadness. And he gave this example, this metaphor with the swamps of sadness. I didn't know what that was. So, of course, you got YouTube and Google these days. So after I listened to it, I wanted to know more of like what he was referring to, because he kind of explained it in the when he was talking about overcoming the sadness and sinking and all this other stuff. And so I was like, man, let me check this out. So I listened to the podcast and I started YouTubing Swamps of Sadness, and all these videos start coming up. And it's from the movie The Never Ending Story. Well, I never saw that movie. I never watched it. And I still haven't watched it. I just saw this part to it. But it's got me really interested to watch the movie now. So I got to make some time to sit down and actually watch the entire movie so I can have a better understanding of everything. But what I got out of it was pretty deep stuff. And I wanted to share that with you guys today because I kind of, like I said, I talk to a lot of people. I deal with, people's things that they go through and what they tell me and stuff like that. And it's life is tough. Life is really tough. And so, I hear some really sad stories sometimes of what people are going through and kind of their mindset and where they're at and stuff like that. So anyways, the Never Ending Story, The Swamps of Sadness, Atreyu, okay, is this kid, Atreyu, and he's got this horse, Artex, right? And they're looking for some guidance, some crazy looking turtle thing, Morla or something. And they have to go through this swamp in order to find this thing. It's not a person, it's like an animal of some sort, but it talks and it's got wisdom, I guess, or something. So they need wisdom, and so they're trying to find this thing. But in order to go see this individual, they need to go through the swamps of sadness. So in the scene, it's just a kid and a horse, right? It's really dark, really gloomy. It's really muddy. It's a swamp. As they're stepping through, you can hear the squishing of their shoes and everything like that. And the kid, whoever's narrating, I don't know who's narrating, but someone else is talking, and they're talking about, everyone knows that when you go through the swamps of sadness, if you don't basically control your mind and you let the sadness of the swamp get to you, you start to sink. And that's what happens in the movie. So this kid, he's walking, and he's got he's got his horse, and he's got the little rope or whatever you call it. And they're walking, and he hops off the horse, and he's trying to pull the horse, and the horse starts to sink a little bit. So he recognizes that. He's like, Artex, and he's like trying to tell him, like, don't let the sadness get to you. He's yelling at the horse. First he was talking really calm. He's talking really calm to the horse. He's like, oh, I understand. Like, it's sad, and he's like, but then the horse keeps sinking and sinking. So then the calmness went out the window, and he's like yelling at his horse, Artex, like, you're sinking, like don't let it get to you, this and that. And then, the horse keeps sinking. And the horse was really calm. Like, it wasn't panicking, like trying to do anything. It was just sinking slowly. And the kid was like, you got to fight against the sadness, Artex. You got to fight against the sadness. And he says, you have to care. And he says, fight for me. He goes, you got to move or you'll die. And, I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? Like, we go through some part of our life where we're really down and out, and we're in this rut, and we're in the swamp of sadness is where we're at. Like, we're not even really trying to fight anymore. We're just sinking. And the people around us trying to help us, give us advice, trying to pull us out, like the kid was, like, hey, like, if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for me. Like fight for me. Like help me, help me help you. And, the horse just sank. And then the screen went black. And then you just saw the kid kind of sitting down. And it's just like, there's no more horse, right? It's a pretty sad scene. It's like crazy stuff. So that's why I was like, man, I really want to go back and watch the movie. But the reference in the Jocko podcast to the Never Ending Story to this video, I could really relate to it. Personally, and then like dealing with a lot of people, like I said, talking to individuals where like you're trying to give advice, you're trying to help, you're trying to pull them out the rut, and the sadness around them just overcomes them, and there's no fight left in them, and then they just sink, right? And then you just spiral backwards, So, and then I started reading through the comments, and it's pretty tripped out stuff, It's like it just one of the guys. I just wrote this down in the comments. He was like, I try to think of this whenever, I feel sad or suicidal. And he goes, even if I sink, there will be those who love me, who try to save me, but still have to trudge through the sadness themselves. Yeah, man, it's tough. Again, that's what these videos are about. It's like life is hard. We all go through things. We lose people. We lose pets. Life is about loss, and dealing with that, whatever. It could be an individual, like I said, a pet, or just losing something else. And our mind starts to take control over us. We don't take control over our mind. We start to sink. We start to lose things. We're going out of control. And then before you know it, things just get really, really bad. So that's what I like about the Jocko podcast. He's always talking about detaching. Like you got to be self-aware. You got to be able to somehow recognize we're going backwards, detach, reassess the situation, look at things overall, and then try to fix those things and get back on the right path. But sometimes it's tough. Life is tough. Life is hard. We all go through certain things that get us down and out. I know quite a few people personally, some things happen to them, and they just make some bad choices, got around some bad people, the wrong people, people that didn't really fit their lifestyle. So they started doing the other people's lifestyle. You're drinking, you're partying, you're hanging out late, you're just doing things that they normally shouldn't do. And then you start watching them sink. And it's tough because you're trying to pull them out. You're trying to help them. You're trying to give them advice, and they're just not taking it. Like our text, he just wasn't, he just couldn't obviously control his mind and fight off the sadness. So he sank, I love animals. It's like a pretty sad scene. I was like, oh man, that's pretty tough. The horse just died, or whatever. So check it out. Okay. The Swamps of Sadness. Like it's a good reference to, is obviously why they made that part in the movie. It's just how we are as humans. Like we just got to take control over our mind. And if we don't, it takes control over us. And then as a result of that, we start going in directions that we shouldn't go in, and doing things that we shouldn't do, creating habits that we shouldn't have. And before you know it, man, we're just in a bad place. And then what happens? You just don't feel like you're worth anything anymore. Like there's no fight left in you, and you just want to give up, and it's done, but that's not it. You're like Jocko talks about all the time. He's like, man, if you're alive, your heart's beating, you still have, you can still fight. There's still a heartbeat. You can fight. There's fight left in you. You just got to pull it out in you. Even when other people are trying to help you, you got to really help yourself. You got to want to be better. You got to want to win. It's like my video the other day. I was talking about my parents. Like, I have a lot of whys why I want to win at life, but a lot of them are my parents. Like I want to make them proud. I want them to know that what they did to sacrifice for me was worth it. And along with all my other mentors that I've had and people that helped me out along the way, I'm finding different whys to where I should be better and why I should keep fighting and do things. Like I said, I got one of my dogs right here at my feet. I got 4 of them, and it's like, man, without me, or my family, they can't feed themselves and give themselves water or let themselves out to go to the bathroom. They need me to do that for them. So I got to make sure I'm here for them and help them and be there. So I have 4 other whys, furry whys, of why I need to make sure that, I'm doing things in the right direction. Again, I got a lot of students, I got a lot of kids, teens in my program, adults that need jiu-jitsu in their life. They need the academy, the people, the friendships that they made. Man, the list goes on. I got so many things that I need to, why I need to keep fighting, because if I don't, there's a lot of people that would be affected by the fact that I gave up. And so it pushes me to try to do better and be better. Again, I'll make mistakes. I talk about that all the time. I'm just like everyone else and make bad decisions and whatever, but I try not to. I'm definitely not trying to make a consistent habit of bad decisions to where, you know, it costs me and everyone else around me, because that's what it does. It's kind of like this individual, you know, that made a comment on that video I was watching. He's like, even if I sink, there'll be those around me who try to save me, that still had to go through what they had to go through to help me. I pulled them through this thing because I was sad. I was down and out, kind of like Artex and Atreyu or whatever his name is. Good stuff. So that you're kind of feeling in that rut. Your mind's taking control over you, this, that, and you're watching this video, however you find it. There's some fight left in you. You're still alive. You're still breathing, man. Like, if you're not in a place where you want to be at, you can still get there. You can still get there. And there's people around you that want to see you win, that want to see you happy, that want to see you. You know, I saw a post earlier. One of my students made a post this morning, and I was going to make a comment on it, and I didn't. But it was basically like, what do you say? It was, it's my life or something. And when I die, it's going to be me. So just let me live my life the way I want to. And my thing is like, cool, like, live the life that you want to live, but hopefully that's a happy and successful life, not a regretful one. You know, when that time comes, you know, you just don't want to have, you know, regrets. You know, you don't want to have regrets is what I'm getting at. You know, there's still time and things for you to make things happen. Don't give up yet. Make some moves, make some things happen. You know, so it's all around me. I see comments, I see posts. You know, I scroll through Facebook and Instagram like everyone else. I read what I read. Like I said, I ran into one of my students' parents the other day, talking to them. Saw the sadness in them because, you know, their son is sinking like the horse. You know what I mean? Like, they're not making good decisions. They're slowly going down in the wrong direction. And, you know, that parent, I could feel it in her voice and see it in her face, the pain that she's going through, watching her son, you know, make the decisions that he's making, stuff like that. So you got to be self-aware, detach, find a way to come out of the mental state that you're in and keep fighting, not only for yourself, but all those people that care and love you, that want to see you do good. So, yeah, good stuff, man. Like I said, this stuff's just all around me. I listen to things, and it just comes out there, and it's like, man, this is really helped me out. Like, there's a good reference, and just wanted to share that with you guys today. So it's really good stuff. So again, keep fighting, man. You still got blood pumping through your veins. Your heart's still pumping, man. Get up, make it happen today, make some moves, and just do better. And little increments here and there, you'll start moving in the right direction versus standing still, sitting still, not doing anything. You just sink and go backwards, all right? So make some moves, go forward, make some thing happen, and, you know, do the right thing. All right, guys, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good day.